And welcome back to the NorCal VGC Grassroots Tournament here in Sunnyvale, California at the CardArt Card Shop. One last time, my name is Ryan, joined by Zach, special cameo from Aaron's left hand. We are here for finals. It is finally here, and we have got...
We got a matchup. We got a matchup.
Mesprit.
We started the day with Mesprit thinking like, let's get it on stream while we can. And turns out we had 3 opportunities for it to be on stream, and I'm pretty happy about this. Mesprit's been doing super, super well. And we've also seen Alex on stream absolutely crushing his opponents in both 2 stream games that we had on similarly. So we'll have to see which one of these 2 can come out on top.
This is the 3rd stream game for both of them.
Yep.
We got... Oh, and funny enough, so we had Kobe on round 1, we had Alex on round 2, then we had Kobe round 1 of top 8, Alex in round 2 of top 8, and the 2 of them have met in the finals. It writes itself sometimes.
Yep.
This is going to be maybe a little bit of a bloodbath.
We'll see. Alex is certainly looking to make it that way.
Alex
right? He's got this incredibly offensive team with the Hisui and Arcanine, the Urshifu, Rillaboom, Chien-Pao, Flutter Mane, and the Tornadus, while Kobe's got a little more of a bulky standard team with Mesprit, Amoonguss, Corviknight, Kingambit, Flutter Mane, and the Landorus.
In this Mesprit, I think, again, is just going to be so key. It's so good into this matchup, on paper at least, but we are not going to have to wait long. Both of our trainers are locked in and ready to go. We've got game 1 coming at you now. It's going to be the Mesprit Kingambit lead for Kobe, and Arcanine Chien-Pao for Alex. We've seen where this goes.
Yep, we've seen how much damage this Arcanine can do. It's got the Choice Band, it's also got the Beads of Ruin, but Intimidate is going to activate Kingambit's Defiant. It's going to throw a little bit of a wrench into some things here, because Kingambit does have the Water Terrestrialization option to take minimal damage from that Sacred Sword here, and Kingambit now has a +1 attack boost and the Sword of Ruin, able to do huge amounts of damage to anything that it goes for.
Do you think Sucker Punch just KOs anything right now? Sucker Punch can KO Arcanine here. Arcanine's kind of bulky, so I would doubt that.
This is a very offensive Arcanine, as we've seen, so it might actually get there. We'd have to see. It probably needs the Sword of Ruin if it's going to do it at all.
Oh, absolutely, but I think it could be such a fun possibility. I've never been this excited to cast a game before. I'm like jumping out of my seat here. We're going to get the first Terrestrialization of the match. It is going to be on that Kingambit, opting to don the Fountain Hat as it goes into its water typing, making sure it's not taking any extra damage from fire moves. On the Arcanine, Icicle Crash will be coming out of the Chien-Pao into the Mesprit, dealing just under half HP, as it's the Head Smash, a double up into the Mesprit. The menace from the last 2 times we've seen it is gone already.
Yep, does get KO'd. The Head Smash does connect. Arcanine takes a fair chunk of recoil thanks to the Head Smash, but the follow-up Kowtow Cleave with +1 with Sword of Ruin does get the KO, so the absolute menace of Arcanine has been removed from the field. So that's a knockout apiece for both of these players.
What a fantastic game plan for both of these trainers coming in. You see the ace of their 2 runs. You see Mesprit hit the field immediately, and you see Arcanine hit the field immediately, and they both leave the field immediately. It's so...
Not out of their own will.
Not out of their own will. They were forcibly removed from the building. Now this is a good switch-in. This is a Rillaboom on the side of Alex, looking to maybe take advantage of that Water-type Terra that Kingambit kind of donned for almost no reason. And then the Amoonguss, ever prevalent. We've seen Kobe pilot this Amoonguss absolutely perfectly today.
Yeah, we'll have to see. This Rillaboom Chien-Pao pairing is looking to be very dangerous here, because Alex still also has Terra to keep this Chien-Pao safe, going to be able to Terrestrialize into the Grass type to avoid the Rage Powder, still going to be weak to the potential Pollen Puff. It doesn't have to worry about a Spore anymore, which is pretty impactful here, but is threatening huge damage onto both just a Wood Hammer and an Icicle Crash. We do see Kingambit protecting as a result, and Amoonguss also protecting, stalling out that fake out pressure.
It's a really smart move, and I think this kind of makes the Terra Grass less impactful in a lot of ways, because the reason you're clicking Terra Grass in some situations is, oh, they're going to Spore into me, I could waste a turn.
Yeah.
After that, the Terra Grass is a known thing, and it's not wasting as much time as it normally would be. So the fact that now Terra Grass is known, Pollen Puff is in click, it changes the dynamic of how Kobe can really approach this game if that's what they so choose.
Yeah, and Alex locking in faster as fast as anyone, really.
Hyper offense goes quick.
Yeah, Everything goes quick with hyper offense, so see how we already see the Sucker Punch going to do a huge chunk to that Kingambit. That +1 boost really coming in handy here. Ice Crash into that. Amoonguss does actually get a one-hit knockout there. That's pretty big. We've seen this Amoonguss survive Ice Crashes before, and this follow-up Wood Hammer is going to just KO the Kingambit right there, here and now. Now it's just going to be the last Pokemon for Kobe.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate kind of situation to walk into. Congratulations, Chien-Pao, you get the crown as the only Pokemon that hasn't been O-code in this game so far. Well, no, Mesprit was technically 2 to take down,
it was
but
doubled into, but
it left in a single turn, and its health bar was not long for this world, is the point. Landorus is a great kind of final to lead up into here. You do have the Intimidate, but into 2 grass types, your Earthquakes, your Stomping Tantrums don't feel quite as nice.
And the Icicle Crash, well, surely you can KO that lander, so Kobe is going to throw in the towel there.
Yeah, and that kind of feels like it's coming any moment on that one. Landorus against the world there is not really super ideal.
Has to has to dodge a lot of Icicle Crashes, which is, eventually one of them's going to hit, right?
One of them is going to hit eventually.
And Woodhammer's still going to do a lot.
And even then, there's still something in the back that they would have to contend with, because you didn't get that KO on that Chien-Pao, which, to be fair, you were never going to. It was Focus Sash. It was going to hang on at the very least, but that was that game was 30 seconds. Yeah, I think it was legitimately 3 turns long.
That yeah, that was pretty quick. That's how Alex likes. If the game is going 3 turns, Alex probably won. If it's going longer, he probably lost.
So I'm interested to kind of see what the adjustment on Kobe's side is. I think that turn 1 is such an interesting dynamic in that last game, because you get just the double knockout on the 2 powerhouses. But maybe this is a situation where Mesprit needs to provide a little bit more in these situations. It can get knocked out on turn 1. It can't really afford to get knocked out on turn 1 and do nothing.
I think the main thing I'm looking at is the Kingambit. I think Kingambit has a really important place in this matchup, but the Terra Water on it really didn't do it any favors. It's a very safe play, respecting the Sacred Sword option from that Chien-Pao, but Sacred Sword didn't go towards the Chien-Pao, and so it was kind of wasted, and it really got punished right after as the Rillaboom came out. And you're like, oh no, this is not a great spot. I think what I assume is going to be a damage roll onto that Amoonguss with the Icicle Crash. Also very impactful. That Chien-Pao could have been knocked out if that Amoonguss had survived and not flinched. So I think Kobe definitely has some pieces to slow down Alex's game. It didn't quite pan out the way that they wanted to this time, but I think they'll have a better idea of how to go about doing that this time.
There is going to be an adjustment. It's going to be a Flutter Mane and a Mesprit on the side of Kobe, while there is an adjustment as well on the side of Alex. It's going to be a Rillaboom instead of the Chien-Pao that we had seen last time. I love the Rillaboom here. It kind of pivots for that Kingambit. It now can't Terra safely, where it may have wanted to Terra very confidently into the Arcanine. In addition to, you can always just switch out into Chien-Pao. You get the Swords of Ruin boost. You're dealing a ton of damage and taking double knockouts like we had seen earlier. It's really such a volatile situation. So Rillaboom covers a lot of bases here. You get flinch, you get pressure on the Kingambit if it exists. You can just leave if it doesn't and you don't want to do anything. It feels like it's in Alex's court and nothing has been clicked yet. There's just so much pressure.
Yeah, both of these are going to do. I think it's going to be up to the Flutter Mane to do a lot of damage here. This Mesprit's not in the best spot here, but Flutter Mane also threatened with a fair amount of damage here. Going to be switching out into that Amoonguss. Most likely, probably not going to be a Flare Blitz launched off by this Arcanine, so it's probably a pretty reasonable switch here, as we do see a crystallization of the Arcanine.
It is the Terra normal Arcanine, most certainly looking to click extreme speed here. There isn't a switch on Alex's side, so it won't be Swords of Ruin boosted, but Choice Band does plenty and will plenty hurt. Mesprit going to be faked out, won't be able to take a turn this time, as extreme speed launches from the Arcanine into the Mesprit. It is not as much damage as maybe we have been conditioned to think it would be. It does get the flinch off, which is valuable, but it does survive.
That's a very, the extreme speed may be a little bit overzealous from Alex. I don't know if he necessarily needed to go for that priority move there. It makes sure that this Flutter Mane can now switch in pretty safely, because this is a choice locked Arcanine here. And the Terra's been spent, so I think Alex sort of put a lot of things out there and didn't quite get the reward he was looking for, and I think Kobe's gonna be able to capitalize on that now.
Yeah, that was a really, really big investment for not as much return as we've seen in the past. We've seen this Arcanine one-shot, thing after thing after thing after thing. So to now commit your Terra onto that Arcanine, decide that that's going to be your one for the game, and not get a KO for it, it's at least a little underwhelming. It is going to be the Mesprit switching out here in favor of that Kingambit. Will be hitting the field once more as Extreme Speed is the option going into the Amoonguss, dealing about 50% HP.
Arcanine's going to take some chip from the Rocky Helmet, and the follow-up Wood Hammer from Rillaboom is going to go into that Kingambit, but now that Kingambit is its natural steel typing, going to take that far better. And Arcanine's going to get put to sleep, so this Arcanine is... It's Terra Normal, it's stuck into Extreme Speed, and now it's put to sleep. He's doing a great job of sort of neutralizing the threat of this Arcanine and positioning their board in order to take advantage of this. Kingambit is in a wonderful position.
Yeah, I think it was maybe the starts weren't exactly where you wanted it to be if you're Kobe. You kind of looked into the Arcanine Rillaboom as a Mesprit and Flutter Mane and kind of went, I'm really not liking what I'm seeing here. And they've done just a great job kind of pivoting into much more favorable options here.
Yeah.
Kingambit feels great here. It can't really take a lot of damage from this Extreme Speed, but as good as it feels, it's actually going to be taking its lead for the Mesprit.
Mesprit going to take the field, trying to capitalize on this sort of passive board state that Alec kind of has to maybe get up a Calm Mind or two. The Wood Hammer into the Amoonguss, though, expecting Amoonguss to be the one to switch out there. Rillaboom's going to not do a lot of damage and probably take more than it dealt with the Rocky Helmet chip, and going to get a nice Pollen Puff on to Mesprit on the switch. Pretty nice way on capitalizing, realizing the fact that for all of the offense on Alex's team, he just doesn't have access to it right now.
I think maybe the idea here is Mesprit is now in a great place to click Trick Room, maybe try and pull the tides on this a little bit. You can Rage Powder from Amoonguss pretty confidently, because you know Extreme Speed has to be the play. Wood Hammer clearly isn't doing that much damage, but that is going to knock the Amoonguss out if that's the play you go for. That being said, maybe you don't. I think Mesprit can confidently kind of take that Extreme Speed that we've seen.
Yeah. Takes that
but if
pretty
it's doubled up into it, so
potentially, yeah, that's where it's a little bit tricky. I think
and Arcanine has to wake up.
Yeah, Arcanine's got to wake up.
The overarching in the hypothetical.
Yeah, Arcanine could wake up here. It did burn its mandatory turn of sleep. So we're going to see Amoonguss actually going to protect, keep itself safe from a potential wake up, plus an Extreme Speed, which Arcanine does wake up here and does go for the Extreme Speed. We'll be firing into that Mesprit. Does about 40%, leaving Mesprit just about half. The Rillaboom's Wood Hammer, how's it going to go? It does get the KO into Mesprit.
That's a really, really unfortunate turn of events, especially with Amoonguss clicking Protect there and not doing anything for the turn is maybe worst case scenario in that case. I think that was maybe just a little bit of greed coming out from the side of Kobe. You saw the very passive board state, and when I can spend a few turns kind of building myself up and getting Trick Room off and controlling the board the way I want to, but sleep is only mandatory for one turn. It's not guaranteed, and nothing showcased it better than that.
That one turn wake definitely puts Alex in a much better spot. The Extreme Speed lock here still kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's not really doing too much here. I feel like a Flare Blitz or a Rock Slide would be doing more or less the same kind of thing, except more. We are going to see the Amoonguss switching out, trying to get some more health with that Regenerator. Kingambit coming back to the field here as Arcanine does go once again for an Extreme Speed, sort of covering a Terra option on this Flutter Mane as the Moonblast goes into the Rillaboom, misses out on the KO, and the follow-up Wood Hammer going to be able to swiftly knock out this Flutter Mane with Kingambit and Amoonguss against the world.
Yeah, that is, consolation prize. Rillaboom faints itself, so it's going to be leaving the field as well. That's, that's a knockout that advances the game state a little bit, but Kingambit maybe not feeling the most comfortable here right now. Arcanine, at any time, can just switch out.
Yeah, it can switch out. It can remove that choice lock into Extreme Speed. It's been out on the field for a number of turns. It might be close to running out of Extreme Speeds. It has been clicking them every single turn here. And Urshifu is an interesting choice to bring out, since you know Amoonguss is coming out. Yeah, only 4 more extreme speeds, so there's a not unreal chance that this Arcanine could struggle in the near future. But Amoonguss might be difficult to bust through for Alex, given that the extreme speed is kind of the best way through, and Surging Strikes is just going to tear through his own Urshifu because of the Rocky Helmet recoil.
Yeah, and I really think that we're going to be seeing a Terastallization onto this Kingambit here. With close combat simply existing on Urshifu, you kind of can't afford to keep Steel and Dark type and take 4 times weak damage. There's the Terra Orb being charged up. It is going to be the Terra Water on the Kingambit for the 2nd game in a row. I think it's much better placed this turn, or this game. Rillaboom is no longer a factor and can no longer take advantage of that new typing that it's gaining. And it's going to take Surging Strikes a lot better if that is an option. Extreme Speed will be coming out first, dealing a good chunk of damage. That was maybe 50% of its HP. As Surging Strikes comes out, a little bit of chip on the first one. It's going to be just a little more chip on the second one. A good roll might be able to do it, but it is not. Kingambit will survive with a sliver.
Survives the double up. Amoonguss probably going to go for a Spore or Impalm Puff, but the Kowtow Cleave first is going to do half to this Arcanine, and the Spore into that Urshifu. This is all well and good, but Amoonguss cannot Rage Powder away an Extreme Speed. So an Extreme Speed into that Kingambit is all but guaranteed, but a Protect Spore is an also option that Kobe can go for, so Alex has to worry about both of those things.
Yeah, this
Kobe
is
still
such
got an option.
This is such a tricky situation to be in. As much as I'm a believer in like Amoonguss versus the world, I really don't think that's a great place for you to be, but there's no Protect coming out. It's just going to be the Extreme Speed picking off this Kingambit. Unfortunately, falling Amoonguss against the world, put my money where my mouth is. I don't think it can do it, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we do see there's the Rage Powder, so yeah, not going to be going with the same priority here, so because Arcanine is faster, the Extreme Speed does go first. Not able to redirect that Rage Powder there. We do see Hisui and Arcanine has 2 more Extreme Speeds left. It's not going to need any of them. Kobe does lock in the forfeit there. So, excellent game, and Alex is the new champion. And that's our NorCal locals here.
I believe that is his first win in entirety as well. Huge congratulations to Alex. That was super well played. The lesson learned, hyper offense, go burr. Yeah. It's so potent.
Hisui and Arcanine has just been blowing things up on stream. Absolutely wrecking things with so much damage. So,
but also major props to Kobe. They piloted Mesprit in a way I don't think any of us really thought Mesprit was going to be piloted. Came into the day really not knowing what their odds were, but absolutely fantastic showing from them. Some of the best piloting of an Amoonguss I've ever seen.
Yeah, really stellar play. I think, yeah, very excellent play. I think, yeah, just they were. I remember at the beginning of the day, they were like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna mess up. I haven't played that many games with this team on ladder." Made it to finals, so definitely excellent play from both of these players. Congratulations to Alex. Excellent play, finally taking hyper offense to a win here and showing how it's done.
And that is going to be a wrap for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in September. We're still waiting on the date for that to come out. If you ever are in the area and need some practice for a regional championship, head on down to Sunnyvale, California. We'd love to have you.
Or check out the Discord on the NorCal VGC Discord. Check out the Twitter, the card up there. There we go. But that's all for us today. So until then, have fun. We'll see you all in September.
See you then.